So hello friend, in today's video I'll share a script with you. So basically we can validate the password on the Active Directory password with this PowerShell scripts. So like if we know the password, what is the password for this specific user, and this is right or wrong, we can just submit the request to the Active Directory server, on premises Active Directory server with through PowerShell, and we'll check if it is correct or it is not correct. So let's get started. So first of all, we have to just create a assembly here. So for that, I'm using system dot reflection dot assembly, and then we have to use load with partial name, and then we have to use system dot directory services dot account management. So this is the assembly. Then we have to set certain things, like we have to define the domain here. So I'm not going to put my domain, but you can just put your domain. Like my domain is test.microsoft.com. Whatever domain you are using, just put your domain. And then we have to define the username, and like my username is ABC, and then we have to define the password here. Like my password is ABC at the rate 123. You can replace these credentials with your actual details, and then we have to create another variable. Like I'm creating principal context. You can create your variable here. Then we have to use new object with system directory services, then account management dot principal context. Then we have to use system dot directory services dot account management dot context type. We have to just close this, and two back columns, and domain, and we have to define the domain here, like the variable we have already created. Now we have to close this. Now I'm using the if and else statement here. Like first of all, I'm using if principal context, that variable we have created, dot validate credentials, and we have to define the credentials here. Like first of all, I'm using username and then comma, then I'm using password, and we have to close this, and we have to write the message here. Like I'm using write output here. So like I'm writing a customized message here, like credentials for user, username are valid. You can type your own custom message. I'm just writing my custom message here. Then I'm using the else statement. If the password is not match, then what will be the message? So for that, I'm again using write output, and I'm using invalid credentials for user, and I'm using the username here, and we have to close this. So this is the script. This will test the password, whichever password you have just entered here. It will check with the Active Directory this password is correct or not. If it is correct, then we'll get a message that credentials for user is valid are valid. If it is mismatched with the Active Directory, then we will get this message that the credentials for username is invalid.